This is exercise 7.6, Unit 1, Banana Breakfast Booster. So it will be a very, very fast banana smoothie. And the ingredients are simple: bananas, milk, yogurt, concentrated orange juice, and liquid honey. So we just kind of put all the ingredients together in a blender. And this is the yogurt. So again, we are cutting this recipe in half. So we are the ingredient is a little bit less than the recipe recommend. So we are putting liquid honey. Not gonna be a full cup. No, sorry, not gonna be a full spoon. So then now all the ingredients are in the blender. We will just cover the blender and let it to blend. Yeah, because there's not really a hard ingredient there. So I think that should be good if we just blend for around 30 seconds or even less. So now we can pour out the smoothie and see how it goes. So as you're probably seeing here, there some form on top, and it's not a really thicky texture. To me, it's still very liquidy. So then later maybe we can compare this banana booster with the strawberry smoothie we make on Unit 4. Okay, so now we are actually doing exercise 7.6, preparation of milk beverages. So the objective of this lab is this exercise is to demonstrate the versatility of milk and the variety of milk-based beverages. So now I'm gonna do the Unit 2, which is the chai latte. So first, you see we have a boiling pot, a boiling water in here, and it's gonna be really hot. For the lid, so this is around 1 cup because we are again cutting this recipe into half. And then I will put 2 bags of the English breakfast tea into the pot, and I will just cover it, let it boil for 15 minutes, and meanwhile I will just lower down the heat because I don't want all the water to dry in that pot. So in that meanwhile, while we're waiting for 15 minutes, you can get the ingredient on the rest of recipe ready, such as cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger powder, something like that. So yeah, so after 15 minutes, we will come back for that. So after around 15 minutes boiling, and you may notice that the tea bag in the saucepan, they are kind of broke. So the tea leaf is everywhere. But don't be panic. I mean, later we can use a strainer to drain all the tea leaves out. So now we'll just continue with the rest of the recipe, and I will just put them into a warm, so they are not gonna boiling really hard. We will put honey. So it's a 50 ml, and here I'm only doing half, so I'm gonna only put 25 ml honey in, so that gives the chai tea latte a little bit sweet flavor. And we pour the hot milk in. Here I just microwave the milk in, or in your home, if you have time, you can also boil the milk. Oops, come on. So stir a little bit. You see the color change to a milky brown color. And we will add some vanilla. So around 2 ml. And we can add some spice into the pot. I guess I made a mistake again. So according to the recipe, I supposed to put the spice together with the tea bag and boiling them. But I think here I will just put whatever I have, and then let them to boil for another 5 minutes to give them flavors. So when you make it by yourself, don't forget to put the spice before you pour the milk and the honey in. of gonna stir it and then let them boil for like another 3 or 5 minutes, so I can make sure all the flavor of the spice are actually in the chai latte. Okay, so after another few more minutes boiling, I think the flavor are all gonna go into the chai latte. Then we'll just pour them into the blender. And here we have a strainer because the tea bag kind of break in the first boiling step, and then I don't want the tea leaves in my chai latte. So now I'm just gonna slowly pour it into the blender. The strainer does hold most of the tea leaves, and we are gonna close the lid of the blender. So in home, I will put it on a medium or high blender speed. Okay, so now after a few minutes of blending, you can see we have a nice milk foam on top of the chai latte, and I would say the color of the chai latte changed slightly. Before it is more like a deeper brown. Now it's more like a kind of a milky and lighter brown color. And you do want to some nice form of the milk on top of the chai latte. So that is actually looks like a chai latte got from Starbucks. And you also can sprinkle some cinnamon powder on top, but here for the best observation for the milk form, we decided to leave like that.
Okay, so I'm going to do Unit 3, the spiced hot chocolate. So the first step is to add the dry ingredients to our saucepan. So we have cocoa powder and sugar, and we have a small amount of cinnamon, and I'm going to combine those together first. I'm going to try to get rid of these lumps in the cocoa powder so that it stirs up. And then I'm going to add just a very small amount of our milk to start. And this is so that I can create a paste, and it ensures that we get a better combination of all of the ingredients here. Otherwise we may end up with some lumps that are too hard to get rid of later. So just a tiny bit more, enough to make just a paste. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the heat. We don't need this very hot, and if you remember from your lab manual, if you cook milk too high, then you get kind of a coating that can scorch easily, and we don't want that. So here's our paste, and I've gotten rid of those lumps in there. So now I'm going to add the rest of the milk. About 1.5 cups of milk. And I'm going to cook this on a low heat just until I can see some steam rising. I am going to switch to a whisk for a minute just so that I can get everything from the bottom. I've got this element on as well. Okay, I don't think there's anything sticking on the bottom there. And you want to keep stirring while it's on the heat, so that we avoid getting that coating again that milk can create. Okay, I can see some steam coming up off the pan, so I think this is ready to go. And just so you can see the texture, I'm going to pour a little bit into this bowl here. So you can see that it's quite thin. It hasn't really changed much from fluid milk from the fridge. This is Unit 4, the Strawberry Sunrise. So for this recipe, we're using a dairy milk substitute. We're using a soy milk, so I'm going to add that to the blender. This is just a fast 3-ingredient smoothie. This is some honey. And then we have some washed strawberries. So I'm just going to blend this up so we get a consistency that we think looks good. Okay, it looks like the strawberries have been crushed up pretty small, so we won't get chunks in there. And I'll just pour it in this cup so you can see the texture. You'll notice that there was a little bit of foaming that happened with the milk. And it's slightly thick, but it's not really thick. You can see it still drips like a liquid.